fading skies. Tattered flags waving dreams in our eyes. The crowds roar like a storm on the wind. We're the underdogs fighting again.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back. It is the second leg of the MLS playoff live stream tonight. Earlier, Inter Miami punches their ticket to MLS Cup, and tonight, to finish this one off, it is the battle in the Western Conference, 1 versus 2, San Diego versus the Vancouver Whitecaps, in a game that is going to be an absolute banger. God damn it, man. I actually can't believe that I even made it up this long. Usually, this is way past my bedtime. So kudos to me for actually pulling this one off. But anyways, before we begin, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and then also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming content here on Stateside Footy. All right, let's get into it because we are just a few moments away from the opening kick of this one. San Diego FC looks like they're going to line up in a 4-3-3. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Sorry about that. They're going to be lining up in a 4-3-3, and it looks like they're back. It looks like their in goal will be Cisniega, a back four of Bombino, Dua, McVeigh, and Pilcher, midfield three of Godoy. I can't even pronounce his name. Verskov and Valakari, and then a front three of Pellegrino, Baird, and Andres Stryer. Of course, Andres Stryer is the stir that stirs the drink there in San Diego. By the way, that dude's goal rate this year is just unbelievable. He has played some of the best soccer that I've seen over the course of the last 10 years in Major League Soccer. But that being said, Pellegrino's no slouch himself. And oh, by the way, Chucky Lozano and Luca Della Torre will be on the bench tonight for San Diego FC. For the Vancouver Whitecaps tonight, coming out in a 4-2-3-1, Takaoka will be in net tonight. Of course, he pretty much always is. The back four of Ocampo, Laporta, Priso, and Johnson. The double pivot of Kubas and Berhalter. Your outside wingers are going to be Sabi and Ahmed. Thomas Muller is underneath. And, of course, Brian White will be up top for Vancouver. And, again, man, these two teams, the two best teams in the Western Conference, even on points. And Vancouver got even better once Thomas Muller came on board in the summer. But that being said, it's like when I think about balance between these two teams, Vancouver, to me, feels like the more balanced team. But that being said, it's like I can't necessarily say that San Diego is any worse. Just considering what they do, they can play a multitude of different ways. If you want to be direct, they can be direct. If you want to play it from the wings, they can play it from the wings. The thing that I absolutely like is the fact that how they play a guy like Dreyer into space It's actually unbelievable. Me personally, it's funny because, when I look at both of these teams and the way that they like to attack, they're actually kind of similar in a lot of ways. I guess the question is what what back line is going to hold up first? Which team is going to be able to come out on the front foot and actually implement their game? Which team is actually going to dictate the terms of this one? Both of them are very even, well matched. Maybe I lean a little bit more towards the Cascadia side of things, just because that's the area of the country that I'm from. But more importantly, right, the question that I have about San Diego is the legitimacy of an inaugural team being this far into the playoffs. And again, I don't necessarily subscribe to the fact that maybe they're in it overhead, because obviously they have earned the right to play for the opportunity to play an MLS Cup. But that being said, can this team actually handle the pressure? Because again, the way that I look at this is all the pressure's on San Diego as a means of legitimacy, right? Vancouver, I don't know, man. There's something about Vancouver where throughout the course of the season, I don't know, man. There's just, they've been good from the very start of the season. Same thing with San Diego, right? But when I think about Vancouver, man, I don't necessarily. It's hard to explain, right? Because Vancouver is not a team that actually shows this type of, this type of genuine quality. It's been very rare that Vancouver's actually gotten to this point in the season in an awfully long time, right? But that being said, when you have a guy like Thomas Muller that has won absolutely everything, it kind of legitimizes it, right? Whereas San Diego is obviously an inaugural team. They haven't actually been this. Obviously, they've never been this far before in an MLS playoff chase. And for me, I don't know. Like, I just feel like the pressure resides with San Diego more so than it does to Vancouver. That being said, I look at San Diego as a team that has absolutely nothing to lose as well too. And so when you're playing with house money, you actually tend to play a little bit more free and easy. Whereas Vancouver, man, this is a good one, man. This is why I like the MLS Cup playoffs, because once you get to the conference finals, God damn it, man, anything could happen. What was interesting about it, especially in the last live stream, there was something to NYCFC's run that I actually kind of liked. And it made me kind of think twice about not necessarily just kind of sticking with Miami. And of course, Miami ended up fucking blasting them right out of the goddamn water, right? And so coming off of that experience, and I'm looking at this, it's like, of course I want to say Vancouver, but that being said, it's like, I know how good San Diego's tack is in isolation and the multitude of ways that they can beat it. But that being said, I also know how the way that Vancouver plays defense, and collectively they defend pretty well, right? So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they key on a guy like Dreyer, how much space and time they're going to give, how they're going to set up to essentially stop San Diego from exploiting space and getting forward and getting in advantageous positions. Like, me personally, I think that Vancouver could possibly do that. But that being said, I've also seen San Diego rip apart some of the best defensive teams in the league with these at times this season. So from that standpoint, it's actually an incredibly hard. It's an incredibly hard game to predict. So from that standpoint, I'm actually going to lean on you guys to let me know exactly where you think this match is going to fall. Do you actually believe in the inaugural side, San Diego FC, or do you actually believe that Vancouver is the type of team that was destined for MLS Cup? Me personally, I don't think it's going to matter, right? Me personally, I think whoever comes out of the Western Conference is going to hoist MLS Cup. And again, this is no disrespect against Miami, but that being said, it's like, I actually think that these two teams have a potential of matching up. If you ask me right now which team I think favors a little bit over a team like Miami, it's probably Vancouver. I just don't know whether or not San Diego is going to be able to pull it off as an inaugural team. Stranger things have actually happened. But again, man, when you have a guy like Thomas Muller that has absolutely won every single piece of metal in world football, every single trophy, that matters. I happen to think that absolutely counts, right? He's been here, he's done that. He knows exactly what it's going to take, and I would probably assume those players right there in Vancouver are going to probably lean a little bit heavier. The thing that I absolutely like though about San Diego is that ball movement through the middle versus between Zerkov and Godoy. Valakari, can't say I really have seen him play a lot, but that being said, it's like what's interesting about it is like you see some of the way that San Diego actually moves that ball. I like their link up play. The question I have is going to be, what is Vancouver's setup going to be? Are they going to concede possession, or are they actually going to attack high up the pitch? Right. It's a good question. Man, God, this thing is hard. This is a hard match to call because that being said, it's like I also actually appreciate San Diego's backline as well too, and so I don't necessarily think there's going to be space. Where I like Vancouver is going to be in that double pivot because regardless of who gets forward, whether it's Kubas or Berhalter, they can make plays as well too. But damn, would you guys be surprised if this match kind of fell in that 2-1 space? I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I don't think that would surprise me too much, man. That's the thing. It's like every single time I want to praise the efforts of a team like Vancouver, I'm just kind of looking at it like, God, dude, they can actually counter everything that Vancouver does well, and probably does it more. See, the thing about it is, it's like I like Brian White as a striker. I like Thomas Muller as being that secondary piece in that attack. But then I think back, to San Diego, and it starts with Andreas Dreyer. But that being said, they also have other pieces that absolutely will punish you too if you don't pay attention. And this is the thing. It's like a big part of me thinks that this might just be one of those matches where it's going to be shot for shot. But again, man, God, I kind of want to give the slight edge to Vancouver, so I'm going to say 2-1 Vancouver. But that being said, man, I don't want to disrespect San Diego whatsoever, man. San Diego is a team that has certainly earned the right to be here. You guys let me know out there how you guys feel about this one. Do you guys feel like this is going to be a San Diego FC type of victory, or are you guys favoring a little bit more of the Cascadia flavor from the Pacific Northwest? We have Jack Munoz, who is saying, let's go San Diego FC, so you know exactly where Jack's at. And it's good to have you around, Jack. As we are getting pretty close to this one, and of course, as the players are coming out of the tunnel, like the two players that you're going to have to watch in this one is going to be Thomas Muller of Vancouver, and obviously Andreas Dreyer of San Diego. As a matter of fact, me personally, when it came to MLS MVP, I actually thought Andreas Dreyer probably had earned it. Obviously, the MVP award obviously is a popularity contest more than it is for actual achievement on the pitch this season. That's the thing. It's like when you're talking about most valuable player, it is not just a popularity contest. It actually means the most valuable player for the team that you represent. And you take Andreas Dreyer outside of San Diego FC, and there's a good chance they are not where they are without him. And from that standpoint, I looked at it and it was like, makes a lot of sense to me. So from that standpoint, I absolutely love that kid. And then, for Vancouver, their fortunes changed once Thomas Muller became a part of that. Became a part of that club. I think he made 14 appearances and finished with something crazy like 8 goals, 9 goals, something like that. Dude, he was absolutely lethal as soon as he stepped foot on an MLS pitch. So both of those players you're going to have to key in on. The question is who does a good job against who, right? Is it going to be San Diego's approach to Thomas Muller that's going to be able to potentially mark him out of opposition, or is it going to be Vancouver doing a good job against Andreas Dreyer, right? I don't think either side are going to do that great of a job. I think both of them are going to come correct tonight. And from that standpoint, again, that's why this match is so hard to call. The other thing worth considering is what Vancouver did against LAFC in the last round of the playoffs. And of course, they're without Tristan Blackman tonight because he pulled a red after catching a second yellow late, which automatically led to LAFC equalizing off the free kick of Sonny. But instead of crumbling, they absolutely rallied together and pushed it into extra time, and eventually won it in a shootout, which kind of goes to show you the solidarity and the ability to keep things switched on when otherwise would suggest that it wouldn't. And that also carries some weight for me as well, too. But that being said, it's like San Diego's the home team in this situation. And from that standpoint, I have to respect that. As the players are walking out here at Snapdragon, in beautiful San Diego, California, packed house, and look at those San Diego Ultras, man. That's a beautiful sight. As the players are lined up, and there's Thomas Muller, and there's San Diego right there. Ooh. I wonder what the win probability is for this match. I bet you it's about as even as it gets, as it looks like the national anthem is going to be performed by a saxophonist. Man, I'll tell you what, man. Kudos to San Diego and the supporters groups that have formed around this club. It's actually a sight to see these awesome supporters groups around the league. As the national anthems for both Canada and the United States are being performed right now. So I guess coming into this one, I will say, man, this is so tough, man. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 3-2 Vancouver, late winner. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-2 Vancouver, late winner. Thomas Muller scores it. That's your Western Conference champion. But that being said, if it goes in the opposite direction, I wouldn't be surprised either. Man. That's the thing. I don't want to do either side any injustice, right? Because both are just unbelievable teams. I guess you have to, also you have to take into consideration coaching as well too. Mike Ivaris has done a very, very, very goddamn good job of getting here, and same thing with the Danish guy. What's his name? Golly, hold on real quick. Why can't I think of his name? Jesus. All right, here we go. Yeah, Jesper Sorensen. There you go. That's the guy. That's the guy right there. Yeah, both of those guys have done an absolute dynamite job, respectfully. Man, yeah, I'm going to stick with the 3-2 Vancouver. I think they got the goods. But that being said, man, we're going to find out in just a few minutes, as the national anthem is the U.S. national anthem has almost come to a close, as we will get started for this second leg of the MLS live stream here on Stateside Footy. Again, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content. And there's Chucky Lozano, the Mexican national, of course, came over from PSV in the Dutch Eredivisie. Luca de la Torre, obviously, on loan. Played a pretty good role for San Diego this year. This is going to be a good one, man. As we are almost concluded here with the national anthem, of course, we will have this match underway. You guys let me know how you guys feel about this one. Who do you have winning? Who do you have advancing? More importantly, who do you have beating Miami, or if there is a team from the Western Conference that's capable of doing it? You let me know as well, too, because we are about ready to get underway here on this one. From Snapdragon Stadium, which was the former site of Jack Murphy Stadium, for those that actually remember. That once was a thing back in the day. All right. I guess the question that I have for you guys next, right? So, number one, does Andreas Dreyer get on the score sheet tonight? Yay or nay? And then obviously, is that going to be something that's going to be more than one goal? Same thing with a guy like Thomas Muller, right? Both of those guys. We know Thomas Muller is a big game player. Obviously, he's done it multiple times with Bayern Munich, right? So you know that he comes good in these type of games, right? This is going to be the first time I think American fans will have seen Andreas Dreyer in these type of moments, right? And so that's going to be the question, right? Who comes good? Who's going to be capable of leading their team to a win tonight? Man, it's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard to pick against Thomas Muller. But that being said, man, again, I thought that Andreas Dreyer was worthy of MVP this year. From start to finish, that dude just came fucking money all season long. And so from that standpoint, God damn it, it's hard to pick this one. I've already picked 3-2 Vancouver. I'm going to stick with that, but you're talking about two teams that finished equal on points in the Western Conference, the two best teams by far throughout the course of the season. So from that standpoint, man, this is exactly what you want in a Western Conference final. But man, oh man, it's so hard to pick this one. But we are already here for the win probabilities. Of course, it looks like it is brought to you in part by DraftKings Sportsbook. By the way, you bet $5, you get $200 if your bets win. So yeah, use the code STRIKER. The crown is yours. So tonight's win probability for this Western Conference final, San Diego is a plus 150 at 39.3%. Vancouver is at a plus 155, 34.2%. The draw is plus 240 at 26.5%. Slight edge to San Diego because they are the home team. And we are almost set here at Snapdragon Stadium. The second leg of the MLS live stream is about to kick off. Tonight's referee is Joe Dickerson. Assistant is going to be Ryan Graves. In the VAR booth is going to be Edvin Jurisic. And there's Andreas Dreyer. We are about ready to kick this one off here from San Diego, California. As San Diego is, the entire city of San Diego is in the house for this one. As we are about ready to kick this one off. As Vancouver will have possession, and they are playing from right to left. And we are underway in San Diego as this one will play all the way back. And this one gets played forward. And it'll drop. And it looks like it's Ocampo who's going to play this one forward, trying to point out Brian White, and that's going to get all the way back. And Vancouver will play it back to Takaoka. Here's Bearhalter. And he's going to play this one up to Ocampo. As that ball shoots forward, looking for Brian White, hits him in the head. Leaks down. Oh, and there's going to be a foul right there. And I believe this is going to be against Godoy right there, Jose Godoy. Coming in, making a slide tackle, just a little bit late, so this is going to be a free kick for Vancouver in a dangerous area. A minute in. As the San Diego Ultras are in full force. As Sebastian Berhalter will sit over this free kick here. As Brian White will be lined up against Dua here. Laporta to the outside. Here we go. Chipped in. And Dua wins the battle. But right there is Thomas Muller. As it gets cleared out, but it's held in by Berhalter. But San Diego will corral this one. And there's going to be a whistle. As San Diego will play it from the back. And this will go down the right side to Pilcher here, as that's going to get played back to McVeigh. As Vancouver's doing a good job here in their press. And they're going to say that they're going to call it a whistle here, although it did look like Home Dude just fell to the floor here. As McVeigh will play it forward, tip back. And it'll go right to Vancouver as they're going to try to play this one forward. As it's played to Laporta. As it'll go right back to Laporta from Takaoka. Played forward. Right there is Dua. But it falls to Godoy. And here we go on the break. And there's a whistle, and it looks like Dreyer will hit the turf here. And it looks like San Diego will have the free kick here. Good ball movement right there. Absolutely. And looks like it was Priester right there that's going to get whistled for the foul. So now all of a sudden San Diego will have their first crack 3.5 minutes into the first half. As Dreyer standing over this one. Here we go. Ball in. Headed forward. Good scramble to the corner. That's going to get out for a San Diego throw-in. Good hustle right there by San Diego. As this one will go in. Here's Dreyer. And he'll play this one back to Dua. Inside to Godoy. As Dreyer will play it to the other side. As they're going to work this up the left-hand side, but there's Ocampo right there. And they're actually going to whistle Ocampo for a foul. As Bombino will hit the turf. They're going to say that Ocampo's hand went down the face of Bombino right there. So there's a yellow card. That might be a little bit of a sketchy yellow card right there. Nevertheless, San Diego will have another free kick from a dangerous area, this time off the left-hand side. Here's Dreyer. Puts one in. Chipped. Held in. There's Dua. Right there is Takaoka. Nice little easy shot for San Diego. Easily taken care of by Takaoka. And now it'll be Kubas. And Berhalter will play it back to Laporta. Back to Takaoka as Vancouver resets here. There's a ball forward. Finds Brian White. Plays it over to Thomas Muller, who has a tough time corralling this one. As that ball gets played back, here's Priso. Vancouver had an 8-4-5 away record in the regular season. Last road loss was August 9th at San Jose. It's been a minute. As Laporta is going to play this one forward. As that ball swings all the way to Ahmed off the left-hand side. 1v1. Trying to cut in. He's going to have to play this one back. Here's Berhalter. Swings it over. Ooh. Vancouver will hold possession here. Here's Muller. Plays it outside to the left, all the way to Ahmed. On the left-hand side, 1v1. Tries to cut in. Does a good job. Ooh, try to play it into Muller. Nobody's there, and here comes San Diego now. Ooh, McVeigh just barely got it off. Here's Vancouver in the box. Ooh, it's a goal right there. Ooh, Brian White. And Vancouver grabs the early lead, 1-0 in the seventh minute off the turnover. That's Cisniega. Couldn't handle that one. Good ball movement right there by Vancouver in the box. Bringing up Brian White at the back post. As again, it came off a turnover. Good press by Vancouver. It was Kubas that started it. And Kubas finds Brian White at the back post. And it's Vancouver drawing first blood here in the Western Conference Final. Very good ball movement for Vancouver. Then again, this is exactly how Vancouver started in the last match. They started quick. If you remember, they took a 2-0 lead at the half, only to surrender in the second half. As play restarts and there's an errant ball. Here's Ahmed now. As that swings all the way to the left. Here's Berhalter. Out to Ahmed off the left. He's going to have to play this one back. And he does all the way back to Priso. As he swings it over to Laporta. Here's Ocampo. As that ball is going to be over the top. And that ball's going to get tipped out. So this will be a Vancouver throw-in off the right-hand side. Sabi did a good job of trying to bring that one in, but it was Bombino right there with the tap out. And Vancouver will hold possession again. And it's Kubas. As he finds Johnson off the left-hand side. And now this thing will swing down the right-hand side with Laporta. Here's Ocampo. All the way back to Priso as they're trying to find a way in. That's a nice touch by Thomas Muller. Now they'll swing it all the way to Sabi off the right. 1v1 against Bombino. Here's Sabi. Nice give and go by Thomas Muller. Sabi gets a shot on. Here's Ahmed. Oh, and it goes in. And Vancouver gets the second 3 minutes later. And Vancouver is now raced out to a 2-0 lead 10 minutes in. As we see this one again, it was Sabi with the ball over the top. Cuts to the inside on Bombino. finds Muller, who gives it right back to him. Sabi gets a shot off and it ricochets and was Ahmed, but it goes off a Dua back. Hits ricochets off the keeper and goes in. Tough luck for San Diego, but man, Vancouver's attacking in waves. That ball ricocheted off Cisniega right there. Tough break for San Diego, and now all of a sudden they found themselves 2 down within 10 minutes. As play will resume, Vancouver now leads 2-0, 11 minutes into the first half. As Vancouver is doing a pretty good job of pressing the ball, but that ball's going to shoot all the way down the left-hand side. Ooh. That's a good ball in. There's Laporta deflected away. Thomas Muller will tip it all the way to the left. Here comes Ahmed. He's got space down the left-hand side. And he'll play this back to Johnson now. And now Vancouver will swing it around their back line. It's Priso. And that's taken away by Dreyer. There's a chip forward, but there's Priso to knock it away. And it'll be Johnson now. As Dreyer actually presses him pretty good. And now Barrett will press Takaoka. And Ocampo is going to have to shoot this forward. And there's a whistle. And he sold it well. Because Sabi actually didn't get any contact. As Dua sold it well. As play resumes, here's Dua. Oh, good press right there as that ball gets turned over. It's going to be Ahmed up the left-hand side for Vancouver. As he's going to try to get around Pilcher right there. But it leaks back to Johnson. As Vancouver will control possession. So for the first 15 minutes, it's been all Vancouver. And there's going to be a whistle. As Mikey Varas has been left stunned here. As I'm sure he didn't imagine being down 2 within the first 15 minutes. As that ball swings to the left, here's Ahmed trying to cut inside, but he does. Ooh, that's a nice little give and go. Finds space, plays through. Here's White. Oh, great play by Dua right there to cut him off. Cisniega will come out and grab the ball. Here's McVeigh. All the way to Pilcher. Chip forward by Godoy. And they're gonna whistle that one against. Looks like it's gonna go against Baird right there. As Vancouver will take over possession here. As that ball gets chipped out to the left, as Johnson holds it in. Good touch right there by Thomas Muller. As that ball gets played back to Priso. Now it swings to the right. It's Ocampo. Here's Brian White. And that was too heavy of a touch. And now that's going to go back to Bombino. And Dua will play it all the way back to the keeper. And they're going to reset here. And here's Dua. As he's got to play this one back. As that swings out towards the right now. Here's Pilcher. Too heavy of a touch. Comes down. Take it away. By Johnson. As Kubas swings it to the right, as Vancouver will retake possession. Their effort to press the ball has been nice. Laporta will swing this one forward, trying to go to the left-hand side, headed forward, and it'll go out. for a Vancouver throw-in. As the second goal will be listed as an own goal against Cisniega. Rightfully so. As Takaoka now will try to shoot to the right-hand side. As Bombino heads it forward right to Kubas. And here comes Vancouver. Here's Ahmed off the left-hand side. Try to find Thomas Muller. Taken away by Godoy. And here comes San Diego as that one's going to get chipped to the left. It's Bombino. He's got to hold it and play it back. And they'll try it again on the left-hand side. Here's Bombino across the halfway line. As Sabi does a good job on him as that ball trickles out, so this will be a throw-in. San Diego will play it quick, and it's Godoy. Now it's Bombino on the left-hand touch line. And it finds us all the way back to the back line. And it's Dua. Here's Godoy. Godoy's going to try to chip this one forward a little too high as Laporta will swing it out, and this will be a San Diego throw-in. As we're approaching the 20-minute mark here in the first half, Vancouver leads by 2. As Ocampo does a good job, that ball's going to tip. Brian White gets to it, but it gets behind him. San Diego will hold possession as they are stuck on the right-hand touchline as that ball finally moves to the back. We'll swing it back to the left. Here's Dua. There's a ball that's going to get chipped forward, but there's Laporta. Plays it all the way back to Takaoka, who keeps it in. Now he's going to have to fire this one down. That's going to get out. So San Diego will keep possession here. Now there's a good ball in right there. And there's going to be a whistle. So this will be a free kick, as they're going to say this one is against Sebastian Berhalter. As they're showing a live look into Vancouver, BC. Whitecaps fans were happy about that one. But here's the free kick as Dreyer's going to swing this one in. That gets headed down. But there's a shot that's going to go wide right of the post. And that was Bombino right there. Good shot by Bombino from outside the 18, just a little wide right. As it came down perfectly to his left foot. As Takaoka will play it out, we'll find Sebastian. Here's White. Here's Kubas. And a bypass Muller for Johnson as here comes Vancouver. Attacking up the left. Here's Ahmed. Tries to cut in. Does a good job. Plays it to Johnson, who's alone off the left-hand side. Johnson in. Shot. Oh, there's Cisniega right there. As it was Sebastian Berhalter who didn't get a clean foot on it. Just a reminder that MLS Cup is on December 6th, and that live stream will be here on Stateside Footy. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. Here comes San Diego now as Bombino will play it forward. As it finds Pellegrino. That's a good ball in. That's a chip forward. Barrett will put one up right there as Takaoka. Easy save right there for the Vancouver keeper. So we have reached the 20th minute here in the first half. Vancouver leads 2-0. Here's Laporta, who's going to play one long, looking for He was looking for Sabi right there. Good defense for San Diego. Now here comes San Diego as they're going to play it off. Here's Bombino. He's going to have to lay this one back for Dua. As Godoy finds Dyer. As San Diego will hold possession with Dua. As there's the ball forward, here's Pellegrino. Plays one in. Right there's Priso. He'll try to play it out, but that's taken away. And there's going to be a foul. And this will be a free kick for San Diego. And it looks like it was Verskov who went down. So this will be a very advantageous free kick right here for San Diego to get one back. As this will be right off the right side of the 18-yard box, right in front, towards close to the angle here. See if San Diego can pull one back. Here we go. That's a ball that's going to get deflected right at the wall. Back to Pellegrino. Now Dyer's going to play one in. And that's going to take a deflection. Chip back. Ooh, good defense by Vancouver. That's Brian White. As this one's going to go out. As Verskov gave chase right there. That was actually a really good defense right there by Berhalter. As it's Dua. Here's Verskov. Plays it back to McVeigh. Vancouver currently holds the possession battle 56-44. 23 minutes into the first half. And here's McVeigh. That's taken away by Ahmed. Here's Kubas. And now they'll cycle. Here's Ocampo. He's going to play this back to Laborda. And Laborda's got to play it back. San Diego gives good chase right here. It's Berhalter in open space. He's going to try to make the switch to the left. He does. He finds Ahmed. And Ahmed now will switch it to the right. Here's Sabi off the right-hand side. Sabi tries to play one in. That's going to get out. So this will be a goal kick as Ocampo gave it chase off an inverted run right there. Play resumes here as that ball swings to the right. It's going to be McVeigh. Last two trips down the pitch, man, San Diego's looked pretty goddamn good. Yeah, San Diego will play from the back. Here's Godoy. And that'll it'll reach Godoy again as they try to play it down to Pilcher. Speaking of which, here's Pilcher now off the right-hand touchline. Plays it back to Godoy. And Godoy will make the switch. He's got Bombino. Here's Dua. And now they'll swing it to the right. It's McVeigh. Ooh. Finds Barry. But Godoy will take control. He tried and then Godoy, Kubas tried to find Brian White down the pitch, surrounded by 2 defenders. Couldn't bring it in. And looks like there's going to be a whistle now. And it looks like it's going to be a yellow against Valakari. And it will be. As Baird made a good touch. And Prisa went in. It was Valakari. That's going to be whistled for the yellow here. So this will be a free kick for Vancouver. As we are approaching the 27th minute. As that ball will go out to the right. As Sabi makes initial contact. Good 1-2 right there with Thomas Muller, but that ball gets played back. As it'll be Laporta who swings it over to Prisa. Over to Johnson. Yeah, he's going to have to play this one back. As that ball will hit Johnson in stride. Here's Ahmed. As Godoy gives good chase, though. Here's Kubas. And there's a whistle. And apparently something happened where now all of a sudden San Diego has the ball. Okay, fair enough. I don't think I've ever seen that before. There's the switch as they found Bombino off the left-hand side. Chipped in, headed up. Headed forward, but right down. To San Diego outside the box. Johnson does a good job. And now Ahmed's on the ball. Here's Kubas. Plays it forward. Bearhalter. And there's a whistle right there against McVeigh. As Brian White goes down. So this will be a free kick for Vancouver. As play will restart. Vancouver in possession. Here's Ocampo. Going to play one up to Sabi, but there's Dua. Dua does a good job of keeping it in. Plays it all the way to Pilcher. Now Pilcher's going to have to sky one down. As Ocampo gets to it, tries to head it forward, but Pellegrino's there. Look at Muller. Oh, Pellegrino wins that battle, but it skips right to Muller. There's a whistle. And it looked like Verskov hits the deck right there. So San Diego gets the whistle. Play resumes. Here's Verskov. He's going to play one deep. He's got Pellegrino a little too far forward as Laporte is there. And Takaoka is going to have to sky this one. Good defense right there by San Diego. And Duo now. Here's Bombino down the left-hand touchline. He's going to play one forward. He's got Baird. Heads it down. Here's Andres Jair. And he's trapped in 2 defenders. Here's Pilcher. Plays it back to Godoy. And Kubas does a great job right there on the tackle. Oh, and Godoy's going to get the whistle. Play restarts. Here's Pilcher. As that ball goes sky high. Oh, ooh. No whistle. It looked like Pellegrino was fouled in the box. As that ball clears, but it finds Brian White. And now there's going to be a whistle. No whistle. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, San Diego is doing a very good job again as they find Bombino down. Here's Pellegrino against Laporta. Cleared, but held in. Now, I think there's an offside call. Or are they whistling it a foul against Pellegrino against Ocampo? Interesting. It's kind of outlandish refereeing, if I got to be honest with this. It's not a wholly surprising either. Looks like Takaoka trying to find Ahmed down the left-hand touchline. That one goes out. So San Diego will regain possession here as play is restarted with Dua. Here's Godoy. He's got to play this one back to McVeigh. That's turned over by Vancouver. Here's Muller. Ooh. And there's going to be a foul as Muller will hit the deck, and it looks like this is going against Godoy. So Thomas Muller wins a free kick here for Vancouver. And it looks like McVeigh just stepped on his foot. So this will be a free kick. Sebastian Berhalter will take the free kick here. Here's Berhalter. And he sends one in, but that's going to go wide. It looked like it was a little bit of a broken play right there. As there's Tristan Blackman, who was suspended for this one for collecting 2 yellow cards in the last match versus LAFC. Good run by McVeigh. Now he finds Bombino out to the left. This kid is dynamite with the ball at his feet. There's a good chip forward. Very good defense right there by Johnson. And so it looked like Baird had a good path to the ball. So this is going to go out for a corner here. And it'll be Dreyer. As that ball goes in, headed away. Chip back, and now Dreyer's going to hold this one. Played at the central. Here's Dua. Ball forward. As Thomas Muller does a good job. Actually, no, that was Sebastian Berhalter. They're going to say that goes out for another corner here. As we see it again. Oh, yeah, that absolutely hit off Dreyer. They're going to give him a corner nonetheless. Here's Pellegrino. Here's Dreyer. Finds Pellegrino again. This time in the box. Cuts. Shoots. Oh, that gets out. What a save right there by Takaoka. That was fantastic ball movement by San Diego right there. As it looked like Thomas Muller deflected it back into Takaoka through the legs, but then off the post. Now it looks like Varskov and Muller have words. As that ball swings in, headed away, out over the bar. And looks like they're going to do this again. As it looks like Varskov thought he got a hit on it. Turns out It'll be another corner here. San Diego's third crack at it. Ooh. That was Parisa who got a foot on it. Looks like Valakari was at the back post right there. As we're in the 36th minute now, San Diego is knocking on the door. As there's a ball into the box, there's Laporta. Heads it out. As Ocampo tries to knock it, there's Thomas Muller. Sabi with a good touch. Down to Ahmed. Here's Johnson now. Off the left-hand side, there's going to be a ball forward. Oh, and no call against McVeigh. I guess that's good defense, but here comes San Diego now. It's Valakari. Here's Godoy. Here's Verskev. Oh, good defense right there by Vancouver as Laporta plays this all the way back to Takaoka. As Godoy will play it back. Laporta's going to have to play this one long. That'll get out of play, so this will be a San Diego throw-in. San Diego now has held possession for a good 15 minutes. Actually, it seems like it's been 15-20. Here's Godoy. Oh, take it away, no whistle. Wow, that was a definite foul against Vancouver. Play goes on. Here's Ahmed. Here's Muller. Muller plays it off to Sabi. That's a good play by Dua. Now it's a foot race to the ball. Dua will get there first. And now there's going to be a foul against Sabi. And play resumes. This has actually been a very exciting 20-25 minutes here for San Diego. Their ball control has been beautiful. That ball gets popped up. Here's Thomas Muller. Ooh, that's going to take a deflection all the way back to the keeper. And you wonder if Thomas Muller kind of hurt himself there, because he is kind of limping a little bit. As Ahmed will give chase, and now San Diego turns the ball over as it finds Priso, who plays it back to Takaoka. Vancouver resets here. Here's Ocampo. A little bit of space here. And Sabi plays it back. Takaoka goes central, finds White. And they're going to say there's a foul as Dua hits the turf. They're going to say that one goes against Brian White. Yep. You won the whistle, bud. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that should have been a whistle. White was actually playing the ball, not the foot. Nonetheless, San Diego will hold possession here. Here's Pilcher. Good give and go right there. Valakari. As Godoy will play it back to McVeigh now. Down the right-hand line. Oh, nice play right here. Oh, good defense by Priso. That'll go out for a San Diego throw-in. There's Godoy. Oh, back post. There's Takaoka. He had Bombino right there floating to the back post. Good idea right there for San Diego. Here's Johnson now for Vancouver as he's floating down the left-hand side. Goes a little central. Thomas Muller plays it back to Kubas. And it finds Sebastian Berhalter. Plays it forward to Sabi up the right-hand side. Here's Muller. He finds Ocampo. He's got to play it back. Ugh. Oh, Sabi loses his footing. That ball goes out. So San Diego will regain possession as we're in the 41st minute now. And Vancouver just has a hard time now holding on to possession. As San Diego now has controlled a large portion of this first half, outside of the 2 goals for Vancouver. The tempo actually has been controlled by San Diego. Here's Godoy. Duel play it all the way down to Pellegrino. Use it off to Bombino. Plays it back to McVeigh. Here's Burskev. And they're going to say that's against Sabi. Dua's essentially winning every single call against those two. As that ball's taken away by Vancouver. Played all the way back to Takaoka, who will now play it out to the left-hand side. Johnson will play it up to Ahmed. And Pilcher is going to get whistled for the foul right there. Here's a ball over the top as it finds Ahmed now. 1v1 to the left. Cuts in. Here's Ahmed playing it forward. Taken away by Godoy against Muller. And now we're off to the races. Here's Pellegrino off the left-hand side. Godoy making the inside run. All the way across to Dyer. Played it over. Burskev, that's going to be tipped away by Johnson. Now cleared. And it's Ahmed. Ooh. Oh, Thomas Muller slips. Vancouver holds it in. Here's Muller. Good slide tackle right there. And, looks like Brian White's down. Good defense by Vancouver. And now they're going to get the whistle against Burskov. As apparently it's going to go against Ahmed here. So this will be a free kick here for San Diego. Late in the first half as we're in the 44th minute. As San Diego is trailing by 2 here. As we welcome in Andy Marsh. As that ball gets played in and it's automatically deflected out. San Diego will throw it in. And that's going to get played out. So Vancouver will have to throw it. As we're coming up at the end of the first half here. 2 minutes of added time. As Vancouver leads 2-0. They get 2 goals within essentially in the first 10 minutes. And I've actually played a pretty exceptional defense. As San Diego has controlled a large portion of the possession here in the first half. As San Diego tries to play it down the left-hand side, but there's Laborda. Does a good job to get it out. Ocampo plays it back to Takaoka. As Muller will find Sabi off the right-hand side. Here's Sabi. Here's Ocampo. Finds Berhalter. Here's Kubas. Will switch it out to the left-hand side. Here's Ahmed. Oh, what a move by Ahmed. In the box. Plays it across. Oh, and it goes in. It's Brian White with his second. Oh, what a goal. As San Diego extends it to 3 now. In the 46 and a half. As Ahmed beats his man around the corner. And Brian White was at the back post. What a goal. As we see it again, there's the switch from Kubas. And it was Pilcher versus Ahmed. And Ahmed beats him around the corner and finds Brian White right there at the back post. And it plays right off of White's chest. And again, it was just an absolute dime. And it was White versus Bombino right there at the back post. And it was all Brian White. And it's 3-0 Vancouver as we head into the break. Unbelievable play right there for Vancouver. And there's the halftime whistle. Vancouver leads 3-0. As there's Ace again. It's written in the stars, Miami versus Vancouver. Yeah, you're right. Not only is it written in the stars, it's also written in the stars that Vancouver wins that match too, by the way, Ace. Just saying. And Dan Davenport says, any news yet on Wilfred Nancy? It looks like that's actually going to happen. Is Wilfred Nancy will leave Columbus for Celtic, and that's a great hire too, because Wilfred Nancy is a very well organized coach. Has a very simplistic yet very deadly way of playing football. I think that's a great hire for Celtic. It kind of sucks that he's leaving MLS, but it's well earned. Considering his lineage, he was an assistant under Thierry Henry with Montreal before getting that job. And you have to understand something about Montreal. They're absolute dog shit of a team. Don't spend a lot of money. It's a team that's usually, reliant on youth. And for Wilfred Nancy to get that team into a second place position in the Eastern Conference and win a playoff round, it was absolutely a great season for them. He leaves. Montreal falls again off the face of the earth. Goes to Columbus. Wins an MLS Cup. Columbus is over the course of the last 4 years, Columbus has just been such a very good, very well organized team, and they nearly won the CONCACAF Champions League as well too. And so from that standpoint, Celtic is getting a very good hire. I guess the only question is will Celtic fans and supporters give them a little bit of a patience? Because that being said, any new coach coming in, the learning curve is very short. You kind of hope that he hits the ground running, but if not, you hope that Celtic fans will show some patience. But it's a very good hire for Celtic. All right, let's go ahead and get into the halftime stats on this one. And again, San Diego leads the possession battle 57-43, and it's not surprising considering that, San Diego controlled the tempo and possession of that entire first half. But that being said, Vancouver leads the XG battle 2.13 to 0.23. 5 shots total for both teams, 5 on target for Vancouver, only 1 on target for San Diego. 4 big chances, 2 of those missed for Vancouver. The accurate passes, San Diego 262, Vancouver 202. Fouls committed, Vancouver 12, San Diego 7. Corners, San Diego's got 4, Vancouver's got 0. Shots inside the box, Vancouver 4, San Diego 2. Shots outside the box, San Diego 3, Vancouver 1. It kind of shows you just exactly the type of defense that Vancouver's playing to keep it from outside the box. outside of dangerous areas, and that's kind of the differential right here. Total passes, San Diego 308, Vancouver 238. Passes in their own half, San Diego 150, Vancouver 121. Passes in the opposition half, 111, San Diego to Vancouver's 81. Accurate long balls, Vancouver 13 to San Diego's 10. Accurate crosses, 4-0, San Diego. 11 throws to 3. Touches in the opposition box, San Diego 17, Vancouver 11. Both have 1 offsides and both have 1 yellow cards. The tackle battle, Vancouver's leading that 5-4. Interception, San Diego 7, Vancouver 6. 3 blocks to 1 to Vancouver. Clearances 18-3 to Vancouver. Again, playing very good defense. Keeper saves 2-1 to San Diego. Duels, Vancouver 21, San Diego 20. Ground duels 17-15 San Diego. Aerial duels 6-3 to Vancouver, and successful dribbles 3-1. And it just I'll just say this, that it's not wholly surprising that Vancouver's got this lead. They generally like to start quick, and we saw that against LAFC. They raced out to a 2-0 lead, held it to the half, and then conceded twice in the second half before ultimately pushing it into extra time and then a shootout. But you got me off guard with that one, my guy. But that's the thing. The way that this team is set up, they like to play the quick switch. They like to get guys in isolation and try to win those 1v1 battles. And we saw it twice. Brian White twice at the back post. And then, of course, the free-for-all scramble for the second goal. I mean, that's just the way Vancouver plays. Now, all of a sudden, they're up 3-0. And San Diego's got their work cut out. One of the things that I will say is, we were asking which defensive line was going to be able to come good. Vancouver, say what you will. Yes, they can leak goals, but man, when you're looking for a team to stay switched on, it's Vancouver. They've been steadfast tonight, and that's including the fact that they're without Tristan Blackman tonight as well too. And so that actually even makes it even more impressive. But I will say that San Diego has unbelievable ball movement, and you felt like they were on the verge of putting one in. And so from that standpoint, you gotta respect what Vancouver's doing. But I will say that I do believe that San Diego will get on the board, and probably quick early in the second half. They have no choice but to stay on the front foot and keep putting their foot against the accelerator. We'll see exactly how the second half plays out. But that being said, I don't think San Diego's done. We'll see. We'll see, but it is what it is. Let's look at the chat here, as we have Reg Lawnmore 3180, who says, "OMF, this is the best stream ever." Oh, thank you. Apparently, I'm amazing. Again, thank you. I appreciate that, and you like my hair. Well, that makes one of us. As I'm getting older, the hairline is receding, unfortunately. It just is what it is. Dan Davenport, my guy, man, he says, I'm a huge fan of Steve's live stream on Footy commentaries. I come in when I can. I can whenever. Oh, yeah. There he is, right? Yeah. And by the way, man, Dan Davenport, he's a loyal supporter, man, and I do appreciate the support as well, too. And you don't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize for him being English. And of course, we have Whitecaps. A quick reminder for everybody to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming content here on Stateside Footy. I don't know why I was just drawing a blank on that, but I did. All right, so second half adjustments. I would probably think that maybe we might see Chucky Lozano sooner rather than later. It seems to make a little bit more sense, especially down that right-hand side. Pellegrino looked pretty good, but that being said, you kind of need somebody with a killer touch, somebody that actually has their shooting boots, somebody that has a history of knowing what to do with those shooting boots, and Chucky Lozano happens to be one of those type of players. So from that standpoint, it wouldn't be surprising. The other thing is trying to get Andreas Dreyer into advantageous areas. Now again, you kind of almost have to credit Vancouver. They've done a good job of keeping them wide out off on the touchline, essentially keeping them away from dangerous areas. But that being said, you're going to have to figure out a way, and maybe this might be a tactical switch from Mikey Varas, where you're going to be a little bit more direct, because you'd rather have the ball in the foot of a guy like Dreyer or a guy like Chucky Lozano instead of a guy like Bird. And again, Vancouver's done a very good job, man. As far as Vancouver goes, you're going to have to continue to do what you're going to do. Be absolute steadfast and resolute on defense, and then try your best on the counter, because it's working. It's working incredibly well. So we'll see exactly what happens here in the second half. But we are getting pretty close now to the start of the second half. And let me know what you guys think so far of this first half. I got to be honest with you. I've been very, very, very impressed to the point where, I might have Vancouver already penciled into the final. I know that seems a little premature considering we still have another 45. But that being said, I think it's going to come to fruition here. And again, at the start of this one, I was talking about pressure. And, the pressure of legitimacy, because that being said, it's like, this is uncharted territory for a team like San Diego, a first-year team. And you kind of had to expect Vancouver coming out playing the way they did in the first 10 minutes, being front foot dominant. And of course, they were able to press the ball absolutely beautifully, and they were able to turn that into goals, right? And so from that standpoint, maybe San Diego was going to look to play the ball a little bit more quicker than they did. But that being said, it is what it is. And now now they're in a 3-goal deficit. But that being said, it's like, I was wondering about it. And, to have the season they did, absolutely a beautiful season for their first year in Major League Soccer. They've done everything right up to this point. And you were kind of wondering whether or not the pressure was going to be able to get to them, because, it's one thing to do it in the regular season, but it's another thing to do it in the playoffs. And yes, they actually had an easy ride. I mean, being the number 1 seed, I think they got Portland in the first round, and then who else do they have? They had Portland, and then they faced Minnesota, who upset Seattle. And so from that standpoint, their road to the conference finals here was a little bit easier than Vancouver, who got a nice little test against Dallas, but then you get LAFC, and LAFC takes them to the brink. And so from that standpoint, you're kind of looking at who's a little bit more battle tested. Is it San Diego or Vancouver? And obviously, the answer is Vancouver. But again, man. Let's see. Am I doing a live stream watch along for the FIFA World Cup draw on Friday? You damn right I'm doing that, my guy. Wouldn't miss it for the world, because there are a few things that I do want to talk about that day. Obviously, from the U.S. men's national team standpoint, you want to know exactly what group they're in. But I'm kind of curious to see exactly how where the Netherlands are grouped. I'm curious to see where Scotland's grouped. Same thing with England. And of course, we still got some playoffs as well, too. What I will say is I'm curiously optimistic for the Irish. Their last window was absolutely beautiful. I'm also kind of curious about some of the CONCACAF nations that made it in as well, too. But as you know, I don't care about any other CONCACAF nation except for the U.S. But there are going to be some good. There are going to be some very good good storylines in that one. So I'm looking forward to it. So you damn right I'm going to be doing a live stream for the World Cup draw. By the way, for those that were tuning in a little earlier today, Inter Miami punched their ticket to MLS Cup with a 5-1 absolute thrashing of NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Finals. And as much as you guys know that I'm not a big Miami fan whatsoever, you kind of have to give respect where respect's due. The way that they absolutely dismantled NYCFC, dude, that was criminal abuse from the to the absolute extreme. They absolutely spared no feelings in that victory, and they absolutely rubbed it in at the end too, getting those last two goals. And so from that standpoint, congratulations to Miami, but it ends right there at MLS Cup. Let's see. Dan Davenport says Republic of Ireland. Dave Harris, yeah. Yep. Last played in the World Cup 94 here in the U.S. And listen, man, if the Republic of Ireland happened to get in, man, congratulations to them. But obviously, you know what this is all about. It's all about the U.S. It's a home World Cup for us, man. We're as excited as anyone. All right, so we're getting close to the start of the second half here. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Mikey Varas approaches the start of the second half. Down 3, they need a goal within the first 10 minutes to kind of get themselves back into it. Be a little bit more aggressive with the ball. Yes, they've controlled, they've controlled possession and the tempo. But that being said, they need to move the ball far more quicker, be a little bit more decisive with the ball. Me personally, I want to see them be a little bit more direct and not waste so much time trying to play down the wings. Yes, it is an opportunity, but it looks like Chucky Lozano is in. And that seemed to be the right call. As now San Diego is going to be playing from right to left, as Vancouver now will be playing to the south stand here in Vancouver. As Ocampo will throw this one in, as Dua does a good job right there of heading it back out. So Ocampo will have this throw in here. As it looks like Negri has come in for Pilcher, and Lozano, Chucky has come in for Baird. So a double switch for San Diego. As they swing this out to the left, here's Johnson. He's going to be direct. Tags out Brian White here. And they're going to say that this is a foul against Vancouver. Here's Verskov as he plays it back to McAvoy. McVee. Here's Dua as he plays it all the way down to Negri, who cuts in on Sabi. As that's going to be good defense right there by Vancouver. As Sabi comes away with the ball, as he's trying to play it up, that's good defense right there by McVeigh. As they looked like they were trying to catch Brian White off the back shoulder of McVee right there. Good defense. Here's Bombino playing it in, and there's going to be a foul as Valakari hits the deck here. So this will be a free kick here. This will be a very good free kick here for San Diego. The Verskov is in the box here. Looks like he's going to be playing the back post. Looks like Valakari is going to be playing the near post. Here's Dreyer. Delivers in. Immediately played out, but it's Pellegrino here. That's a good ball down the right-hand side. In. Headed away. As that'll get out for a Vancouver throw-in. Immediately brings it in. Here's Bombino. And that swings all the way back. As they'll play it down to Dua off the left-hand side. Against Thomas Muller. There's a good ball in the box, and it's Laporta with a header. And now a clearance. As Dreyer will head it in. Now that's going to get all the way back. And now he's going to play this one forward. Looking for Valakari. And now there's going to be a whistle as Laporta goes down. And apparently going to say that's going against Chucky Lozano. As play resumes. Here's Thomas Muller now. Down the right-hand side. Lays it in. And now Berhalter is going to pop this one straight up. Hoping it is going to come down to Brian White. It doesn't. And there's a whistle. Play resumes with San Diego. Here's Verskov, who's going to play it off. As McVeigh will pass it all the way back to Due off the left-hand side now. There's a ball that's going to go forward. As that will come down to Johnson. Does a good job against Chucky. And now there's going to be a foul against Chucky. As we are now approaching the 50th minute. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. As Mikey Varas done a very good job with San Diego in the first inaugural season. As now Sabi's doing a good job as he gets down the right line. Good job by Duo right there. Taken away by Sabi. They're going to call that against Sabi right there. Good duel between those two. You have to give credit to Mikey Varas and the job that he's done with San Diego in this first season, getting as far as they have. Fantastic regular season. We're able to stay consistent. We're able to weather some of the injury issues. Good ball movement by Vancouver. Here's Brian White, who's open, tries to play it forward. Looking for Ocampo. Not a good touch right there by Brian White. You should have just rushed through the channels right there. As Negri will control the ball off the left-hand side. As Verskov now will play it back to McVeigh. Here's Dua. As they swing it out to the right. As Ocampo's going to get whistled for the foul. Looks like that was against it might have been against Luca Della Torre right there. Speaking of which, here's Luca. As that ball's going to ping forward to Chucky. And they're going to say that was against Priso, against Chucky Lozano. So there's going to be a free kick here. It's good to see Luca. That ball gets chipped in, headed away by Laporta, kept in by Verskov, and that's going to skide over the crossbar. This will be a goal kick here. Luca Della Torre appeared a few times this summer for the U.S. men's national team. Was a part of the Gold Cup. Of course, he's on loan from Celta Vigo of La Liga. And of course, will return to Celta Vigo unless a permanent deal could be hammered out. As Takaoka now will play it. As Johnson weaves through traffic. And now we'll lay it off. Here's Laporta. It'll be Ocampo. Here's Sabi. Here's Ocampo. Oh, good movement right here by Ocampo. Here's Berhalter. And he'll make the switch. Here's Ahmed off the left-hand side. Ahmed cuts in, plays it in. There's nobody there except for San Diego defenders. Here's Ocampo. Finds Sabi. And Sabi has to play this one back to Laborda. Here's Priso. Here's Johnson. As Chuka Lozano does a good job right there. As Ahmed plays around. And now he'll switch to the right-hand side. Here's Sabi. All alone. And there's a ball in. Headed away by Dua. And Negri now will try to clear it. But it finds Priso. And Vancouver will hold it in. San Diego's end here. Here's Berhalter. And he swings it out to the left. And it's Muller. As Muller was a little upset that he didn't have Kubas occupying space. He had to play it back. Here's Muller. As there's a turnover right there. As it goes all the way back to McVeigh of San Diego. As it's Luca De La Torre. And this gets played all the way back. Here's Dua. Here's Verskov. And now it's Luca De La Torre. And now there's the switch. And it's going to be Negri. Bodied up against Ocampo. And San Diego is going to have to play around the back here. Here's Valakari. As they play it back to Dua now. Yeah, it's Verskov plays it back to Dua. Yeah, and he plays it back to McVeigh right there. As they're trying to find an opening here. As there's going to be a foul here against Sabi. Against Verskov. As the trans flags are being waved in San Diego. So Dua will sit over this free kick here. And play resumes. As McVeigh has nowhere to go with this. As Vancouver has essentially pushed San Diego back here. And now San Diego will reset. As we're approaching the 57th minute now. Vancouver leads 3-0. As that ball will go forward right to Johnson. As Ahmed gives chase, but that makes its way back to Cisniega. As Vancouver is pressing the hell out of the ball, but there's a foul right there that's going to go against Johnson. Actually, Kubas. Excuse me. As play resumes. And now Dua will play it long. And they're going to say offside, says Chucky. Yeah. It looks like Chucky was 5 body lengths offside right there. As Vancouver will switch to the left side. As Ahmed. Play it off to Johnson. Here's Ahmed right now. And he has no choice but to play it back. As Vancouver is just trying to hold on to possession here. As Takoko will play it forward to Kubas. Now here's Johnson. And Johnson's going to play this long, looking for Brian White, except that ball was way over the top. And now San Diego will have possession. It'll be Dua. Here's Burskov. As Kubas will get whistled for the foul. It's going to be a yellow card now. As Burskov is up. As Kubas winning for a challenge here. Yeah, I guess. Kind of a soft yellow, but I understand. As that's swing to McVeigh up to the right. As play continues. Nope. As Lozano hits the deck, they'll get a late yellow. Excuse me, a late whistle here. And San Diego gets one in off a deflection. It's Chucky in the 59th minute. As San Diego gets one back. As I thought that ball was going to carry him a little bit over the crossbar. As Takoko was misplaced on that one. As that's swinging to Chucky. He takes a shot and it ricochets off the back of Johnson into the back. And I thought that was going to carry him over the crossbar, but now it finds the back corner. Good goal for San Diego as they pull one back. San Diego is still alive here. As we're now in the 60th minute, 30 minutes to play now. As Vancouver will shoot one down the left side and finds Ahmed. Good ball in. Here's Johnson. Plays it centrally. Oh, and Sabi couldn't control it. Neither could Brian White as they're going to fire this one out. And now all of a sudden, here's Pellegrino and Taco comes out and makes a kick. And now all of a sudden, there's new life breathed into San Diego. As Chucky plays it in. As Johnson. But it's Luca Della Torre who comes up with the ball. And I think this is going to be a goal kick. As Ryan Gauld has checked in for Thomas Muller now in the 60th minute. San Diego fans now. As Taco will fire it out to the left-hand side, that's going to get tipped out, and it'll be a Vancouver throw-in. As all of a sudden, man, San Diego's got new life breathed into them. As Mikey Barris has pushed the right buttons, bringing in Chucky Lozano. Oh, and here comes Vancouver. Plays it over. Here's Sabi alone. Cuts in. Sabi shoots. Ooh, good save. Oh, what a defensive save right there from Dua. Gets in front of it as that ball flies over the crossbars. As Sabi makes a very good cut to the inside. And it was Dua. Who makes a very good save as that ball got past San Diego's keeper right there, Dua, probably makes the defensive save of the night right there. But it will get out for a Vancouver corner here. We're in the 63rd minute. Vancouver leads 3-1. As Berhalter will take this corner here. As this ball gets whipped in short. Cleared. Held in by Priso. Here's Berhalter. And it goes. Headed away. Good job by the keeper right there. As this will be a Vancouver throw in here. As Ocampo will take this throw in. As this one goes back. As Laporta will play it back all the way to Priso. As Vancouver nearly got their fourth here. As Priso will play it off to the right to Sabi. Closing down is Valakari. Priso into the box. Tipped away. It comes down to Pellegrino. Good hustle right there by San Diego. But Kubas will hold it in. Now it's Berhalter. Back to Kubas. Plays it back to Priso. As Johnson gives him a good chase right here. Excuse me. Andreas Ryer. That's headed down. Verskev will play it forward. The Vancouver will clean it right back up. Here's Ocampos. As Vancouver has a 2-goal lead here in the 65th minute. San Diego is doing a good job of pressing. As that's going to get past. Here's whoa! And that's going to be against Duo right there. As he upended Sabi. As Sabi's doing his good acting job here. As we see this again, Sabi's racing for the ball. And he gets upended by Dua. Yeah, and Dua wasn't going for the ball. He was playing the player. And that's why Dua's got a smile on his face, so that's going to be a yellow. As we're in the 66th minute now, as Vancouver will have a free kick here. As Sabi is still down. And Sabi is up now. As Thomas Muller comes out in the 60th for Vancouver. Kind of odd. As Andreas Dreyer has covered 5 miles of distance in this match. Ahmed 4.9, so both have been well traveled. Good work rates tonight. As Sabi is up. As we are ready to play this one. San Diego comes away. Very good tackle by Johnson. Here's Sabi. Turns the corner off the right. He's going to play one in. Back post over the head. Ahmed will take care of this one. Here's Johnson. Back to Ahmed now. And he's going to have a go that's going to fly wide to the right. As San Diego will play this one out of the back now. Here's Verskov as he plays it all the way to the right. Looking for Luca De La Torre, but that's taken away by Ahmed. As he plays it back to Johnson. As we're coming close to the 70th minute now. As here's Ocampo racing forward now. As he dunks it off to Sabi off the right-hand touch line. And he's going to have to play this one back. Here's Berhalter. Back to Laborda, who plays it back to the keeper, Takaoka. Here's Berhalter now. Good pass into Ocampo. Makes his inverted run. Here's Ocampo. Oh, good pass to Sabi. Crosses it. Oh, good defense right there by San Diego. Looked like it was McVeigh. As Ahmed will keep it in. Another good opportunity for Vancouver here. As they have just, outside of the goal by San Diego, they have done a good job of holding possession here. Here's Brian White coming deep to make a touch. Here's Kubas. Here's Berhalter. Out to Johnson off the left. Here's Ahmed. Yeah, San Diego's doing their best to try to pressure the ball. Here's Ocampo. Nice little flick. Nice touch by Brian White. All the way out to the left. Here's Ahmed now. 1v1. Oh, good defense by Bombino. As there's going to be a whistle against Sebastian Berhalter against Chucky. As we are in the 70th minute now, and it looks like San Diego's making a change here. And it looks like Valakari's coming off for Ian Vartson. They do like their Nordic players, don't they? So it looks like Mikey Varis is bringing on another attacker. Checked away by Berhalter. Here's Ahmed. And there's going to be a foul right there against McVeigh. 20 minutes remain as Vancouver leads by 2. It is 3-1 as Brian White has checked in with a brace, and of course there was an own goal. Here's Sabi. Here's Johnson. Plays, trying to play it through. Good defense right there. Taken away by Vancouver. Here's Ocampo. And that'll go against Negri as Berhalter hits the turf. Yeah, as Negri will catch the back foot of Berhalter, 100% that's going to get called. So this will be a free kick from a deep position, about 45 yards out from the right-hand side. As Sebastian Berhalter. As the arm goes up and the ball gets delivered in. Good ball. As Dua will knock this one away. As Berhalter will play it forward. As that'll fall to Berhalter. Here's Ocampo. 2v1. Ooh. Good try right there by Berhalter, but that's kept in. Here's Johnson. Tapped away by San Diego, but then taken away by Vancouver. Berhalter will play one in, and there's Dua. And now Kubas will just play this one out. As tonight's shots on target, it'll be Emmanuel Sabi and Brian White with 2. Irving Lozano and Dua both have 1. So now coming off is Sabi. And checking in is Cabrera. As play resumes, as we are inching close to the 75th minute, as that ball gets played back in, and Negri play it forward. As it gets all the way back to Dua now. And that's taken away. It's Johnson. Racing. As Verskov will take it away. That ball gets played all the way to the top. As Lozano stays with it, taken away. And there's going to be a whistle right there as Cabrera hits the deck. And I think they're going to call this one against Chucky Lozano. As there was a mad scramble. Good defense right there for Vancouver in front of the 18-yard box to deny entry from Dreyer. As we are 15 minutes away. As Chucky did get a goal, but now he gets a yellow card. As time keeps ticking away. As Cabrera is going to be looked at by the physios. As both coaches now are applying strategy here for the final push. As it looks like we're almost ready to restart play here. Chucky Lozano will get the yellow card against Cabrera. But it looks like we're about ready to play now. As that ball will go down the left-hand side. Way out of play. So this will be a San Diego throw-in. As that play gets played back to McVie. Here's Dua. As we are 13 minutes away in the 77th minute, Vancouver leads 3-1 as they are looking for a way in. Good ball forward, but there's Lombardo. Yeah, there you go. As Zerkoff will play over to Chucky. Taken away. Here's Ahmed. Leave it off for Johnson, who plays it back to Priso. Now Priso will just shoot it up. Has a clearance. San Diego will restart its possession here with Dua as he plays this out to Negri. Oh. Oh, boy. Yeah, there's a red card right there. And that's going to be against the keeper. Cisniega, as he was well out of his box, as he had to come in, as that was an errant pass into the middle portion. Cisniega stepped up to make the play. As that ball was pressed to Dua, Johnson came out to make the play, and there was Cisniega coming in with a sliding tackle late. That 100% is going to be a straight red. Actually, it was Gald. So Cisniega is gone now. Does that mean San Diego is going to have to bring in another keeper? But that means they're going to have to take somebody away from their outfield players, which means this task is going to become incredibly hard. Ooh. So it looks like Pellegrino comes off, and it looks like Footy has come on, their backup keeper. As we're in the 80th minute now, as Vancouver now has a man advantage. And we are 10 minutes away. As there's a ball in. There's a shot. Ooh, good save right there by Footy. Point blank. And that's going to be cleared. As that ball gets played back to Footy. Being hounded there by Brian White. Nice job by Cabrera. Here's Berhalter. As Priso is being hounded here. As Ocampo plays it back to Takaoka. Oh, that was nearly taken away right there by San Diego. As Priso's doing a good job. As he plays it back to Berhalter. As Laborda will find Berhalter. As Johnson's being hounded here. That's going to get shipped forward and out. Good job by San Diego of winning a ball back. As Chucky has to play it in. San Diego's playing with 10 men, 8.5 minutes left. As that ball goes forward. And there's nobody there except for Priso, as that ball's going to get out past the end line. So this will be a goal kick for Vancouver. As it looks like the traveling supporters are celebrating. With 8 minutes to go, here's Ocampo. That's going to get out. Here's a quick throw in by Negri. Back to Dua. Here's Surkov. Here's Negri on the left-hand side. He's going to try to play this one forward. Taken away by Laborda. Here's Cabrera. Oh, what a move around Dua. As he plays this one in. Here's Brian White. Shoots off the post. Here's Ahmed, and he just misses. Oh, and Gald nearly nearly put one in. As Cabrera made a good move around Dua. Finds Brian White, who beats McVoy, and then Gald was there. but he rings it off the post. Instead of 4-1, it's still 3-1. As we're in the 83rd, 7 minutes to play. And it almost surely feels like Vancouver will advance. There's Bombino. Ooh, and he did find Surkoff at the back post. As that one will get out. It'll be a goal kick for Vancouver. Good duel right there for the ball. And Bombino just puts one to the back post. And it finds Surkoff. Just goes off a different direction. So here's the goal kick as that's going to get played out. Here's Ahmed. As Johnson will play it forward. Here's Brian White. Here's Ahmed. He's got goal tracking centrally. Good play by Dua. Not enough zip on that through ball right there. Now here comes San Diego. As that's cleared away. Held in. Like Luca De La Torre played one in. Here's Bombino. Here's Dua. Taken away by Vancouver. Here's Gald. As Johnson will have to play this one forward, and he essentially just clears it. As that goes out all the way back to Paris. As San Diego will reset here at the midway line. Look at that hustle by Gald. But San Diego will hold. There's a ball over the top. There's Priso, and he clears it. Here's Luca. Nice pass. Here's Dreyer. And that ball is going to get deflected right to the goalkeeper. I think that was Dreyer's first shot, as that didn't come until the 86th. As this ball gets worked all the way to the left, it's Johnson. Here's Ahmed. No whistle. As that ball goes through. Taken away by Vancouver. Here's Gald. Here's Berhalter. And he'll play all the way down the right-hand side. Getting there is Cabrera. Here's Ocampo. There's the switch to the left side. As that ball will play back. Oh, that's a nice tip right there for White. Slides, keeps possession. Here's White. And Dua stands in the way. As we're now in the 87th minute. And there's a whistle. As we're 2.5 minutes away from the full 90, and it looks like Vancouver is going to make a triple switch here. As coming off is Kubas and Ocampo. And off comes Ahmed. as play resumes. So it looks like Baldwell comes on. Oh, that's a shot to the back post. Oh, good defense right there by Priso. As Chucky Lozano was right there in front of goal. So this will be a goal kick. This will be a corner kick here for San Diego. As it'll be Chucky. As that ball gets swung in. What a save! What a save by Takaoka. What a save at the back post as that ball swung in. And it looks like Giuseppe Bovalina has checked in. Javon Baldwell and Jaden Nelson have checked in for Vancouver. But good Lord, was that a save at the back post by Takaoka as that came down, and it was Dua that made first initial contact. Great save right there by Takaoka, and then McVeigh comes in to keep the ball at the back of the net. So this will be a goal kick here as we're approaching the 90th here. As that comes down, the goal. Here's Nelson. Great job by McVeigh. And there'll be 6 minutes of added time here. As Vancouver is 6 minutes away. That ball will be played long. Tapped away by Priso. Now Johnson will play it long. As that comes down to McVeigh. There's the switch, but there's Cabrera. Controlling it nicely. Here's Berhalter. Here's Cabrera. As that's played all the way back to Priso, who's just going to hold it. Now works it over to Johnson. As that ball gets played all the way back to Takaoka now. Swings it out. Taken away by Dua. As that ball plays back to Dua. There's a ball over the top, but there's Takaoka. As it looks like that was Chucky Lozano. As we're approaching 5 minutes remaining now. As San Diego trails by 2. Vancouver has done a very good job defensively here. And of course, San Diego is only playing with 10. As their starting keeper draws a straight red on a late challenge. As Baldwell will play it back. Out left to Johnson. Tip forward as Baldwell can't control it. But right there is Gall. And there's a whistle. As that will be against Bombino. And in 3 minutes, we will have our first Canadian participant in MLS Cup since FC Toronto back in 2017. As this one will get played back to Takaoka. And he'll play it long. Good header down. And here's Giuseppe. Plays it out to Cabrera. Nice little touch right here. Instead of playing one in, he's just going to hold it. As that'll get touched out. Oh, that's late. That's late. It's still in. Here's Gald. Gald will play it all the way to the other side. Johnson over to Nelson. 1v1 against Bombino. That's the inside. He'll shoot. Oh, what a save. And it's Cabrera. Man, that ball's turned over. As it's Trier. And there'll be a whistle. And I'll go against Nelson. 1 minute remains here in extra time. Play resumes. Here's Dreyer. Into the box. Headed up. And it'll come down with Vancouver. And Johnson will just clear this thing. As fans have already started to file out of Snapdragon now. As Footy now will play it forward. Out to Negri. 20 seconds remain. And Duo will play it long. As it finds Chucky. Here's Negri. As that ball's going to get deflected. And that'll be out of play. As that goes all the way to the other side here. Here's Chucky. Beats Nelson. Headed away. Oh, McVeigh gets taken down. No whistle. As Faria comes out to make the touch. Nice play right there by Johnson. And now Nelson will kick it long. Held in. Here's Dreyer. Dreyer will cross. What a save! As Surkov gets a foot on it, but Takaoka's there. And that was the last gasp for San Diego right there. As we have reached the full 96, as Dreyer puts a beautiful ball in. But right there was Takaoka with a kick save. And there it is. Vancouver will advance to MLS Cup. 3-1 on the road. Brian White will get a brace, and San Diego season will come to an end. What an absolute beauty of a game. As Vancouver pulls it off, and now that's where we're at, man. What an absolute finish to this one, as Vancouver will advance to take on Inter Miami MLS Cup December 6th, right here on Stateside Footy. And, of course, let's go ahead and get into the stats real quick. And hold on. I don't know why I closed out that window. Oh, man. Let's go ahead and get into the stats of this one. It's San Diego controlled possession 54-46, but Vancouver with the XG battle 3.00 to 1.05. Total shots, San Diego 12, Vancouver 11. Shots on target 8-5. Big chances 8-1 Vancouver. And, of course, big chances missed 6-1. Obviously, Vancouver missed 6 big chances, but they buried the 3 that counts. Accurate passes 477 to San Diego to 420. Fouls committed, Vancouver 22, San Diego 16 in corners. San Diego won that battle 5-1. Shots inside the box, Vancouver 8, San Diego 6. Shots outside the box, 6-3 San Diego. As we look at total passes here, 553 to San Diego to 490 Vancouver. Passes in the own half, San Diego 284 to 236. Passes in the opposition half, 193, 184. Accurate long balls, 27-19 Vancouver. Accurate crosses, 9-1 San Diego. Touches in the opposition box, 26-24 Vancouver. And Vancouver is offside 4 times to San Diego's 2. Discipline. San Diego had 3 yellow cards to Vancouver's 2, and of course the big red card that put San Diego down to 10 men. Defense tackle battle, Vancouver wins that 13-10. Interceptions, San Diego 10, Vancouver 8. 4 blocks for Vancouver to San Diego's 2. Clearances 28-14. Keeper saves 5-4, both going to Vancouver. Duels 49-48 Vancouver. Ground duels 40-39 Vancouver. Aerial duels, by the way, 9-9 each in successful dribbles. Vancouver 10, San Diego 7. And listen, Vancouver did exactly what was expected of them doing. They started off quick. The only difference between this match and LAFC is they actually did a very good job of making sure Andreas Dreyer did not get into areas where he can punish them. And I guess that is a credit to Vancouver's defense, because it looked like Kubas and Johnson and Kubas and Ocampo were doing a very, very, very good job of making sure Dreyer stayed exactly where he was, out of the way, out of the picture. And I will give Mikey Vargas all the credit, because he did bring on Chucky Lozano at the half, and he did score a goal. But that being said, it almost felt like it was too little too late, because as soon as the goal goes in, Vancouver did a very good job of keeping themselves organized on defense and did not give anything away cheap. And from that standpoint, Vancouver earned this victory. And again, Vancouver becomes the first Canadian team in MLS Cup to feature since Toronto, I believe, back in 2017. So congratulations to Vancouver on winning the West, representing Cascadia. And now it's going to be Vancouver versus Portland. It was the two teams Vancouver versus Inter Miami, the 2 teams that I predicted that were going to be here at the end of it. And sure enough, it actually played out that way. Let's go ahead and look at the chat real quick. Dan Davenport says, I follow Inter results because David Beckham has a home about 8 miles away from his home. There you go. He said, let's see, have you heard the UL TV rights for the Champions League? Goes to Paramount Plus. Yeah, I already knew that. The Euro League and the Champions League, yeah, they're on Paramount Plus. Oh, the UK TV rights, I got you. And then let's see, Paramount Plus will have the okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, Champions League and Europa League, yeah, absolutely. That's already over here in the United States as well too. And it's actually quite convenient. So yeah. Anyway. All right. So again, very good live stream doubleheader tonight. Both conference finals. We saw 2 very good performances from Inter Miami and of course Vancouver. And I think this one played out the way that I expected it to. I think I said 3-2 Vancouver, but yeah, it was 3-1. And I figured this was going to be more about San Diego, I guess you can say, living up to the pressure. Because again, man, you're talking about an inaugural team that did a very good job of navigating the season, finishing atop of the Western Conference. But that being said, can you finish it out? That was going to be something that I was highlighting quite a bit, because, again, in these situations are never easy for inaugural teams, especially for a guy like Mikey Vargas, who's never really coached in this league as well too. And so from that standpoint, you kind of look at what Vancouver is. They've kind of been building up to this moment for a few years now, putting together a very good team. And it just seemed like, that Thomas Muller move kind of put everything over the top, and they seemed primed to make a run like this. And of course, when you look at their playoff performances, it seemed like that LAFC, getting over LAFC in the manner in which they did it, kind of set them up for this one. So from that standpoint, I'm not surprised at all. Vancouver earned the right to be here, and now it's they have one more test, and that is Inter Miami. Can they solve the riddle of Inter Miami? Can they hold their defensive shape against a team like Miami, knowing the way that Miami plays? So they're going to have a little bit of time to figure it out. MLS Cup, December 6th here on Stateside Footy. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking very much forward to it. Dan Davenport asks, when are you on next with Derma? I'm not. I'll just keep it at that. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Dan Davenport. I want to thank Reg Lawnmower. I want to thank my guy Ace, Andy Marsh, and those guys that turned up, Jack Munoz, who turned up in the chat tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for both of these MLS playoff live stream doubleheaders, the conference doubleheader. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. And of course, this upcoming week is going to be massive. Obviously, we'll start Monday with the USMNT Yanks Abroad as we recap the European pool players weekends for the U.S. men's national team. And then, of course, this upcoming Friday, I believe, is going to be the World Cup draw selection, which will be here on Stateside Footy. And then, of course, we have MLS Cup. So it is going to be absolutely fantastic on this channel. You want to make sure that you're stick around for this one. So definitely do yourself a favor by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, guys. This has been absolutely fun. I will see you next weekend as we cap off the MLS season with MLS Cup. Until then, have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. Good night.
Rusted goalposts under fading skies.